Okay, so as promised, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create something interesting like this. And if you look closely, what we have is actually about three different patterns overlaying each other. However, they are all coming from the center. So unlike what we have been having, where we have one central element and then we have others on the four corners of the edges, we're going to be having everything coming from the back, from the center. Okay, they are all radiating from the center. So let's turn off this layer and come right here, click on a new layer. Now we are creating a new layer, and the next step is to activate our brush tool. You can press that by doing a B on your keyboard or clicking this button. So we might want to check out some other interesting brush tools. So let's check out brushes on the 12. So let's try out this guy. Now, the first pattern will have to, be a little bit smaller than the rest since you want others showing off it. So the first thing, have the very first center layers, ensure that it is right in the center. So, sorry, these ruler that I have here are not well placed. So you have to like sort of ignore them. I can see that you might be getting confused. So let's just have it right here. Maybe, okay. This is 11, so I should be going to 5.5. Okay, right here. This is 8.5, and I should be going around 4.25, which is around here. Okay, so now this is in the center. Now let's go ahead to activate the brush tool, and you can have it just right at the center right here. Now we have the first pattern. Now to create this kind of special effects, you want to make sure that each and every one of the flowers is having a solid background. You don't want it to be transparent to create the intersecting effect. So what you want to do is to go to the next layer beneath it and create a rectangle. So it might just be covering the flower, or you can draw it over the entire page. Change the color to white. Since it's already under it, you see directly, and select the two layers and merge layers. Once you're done, press W on your keyboard to activate the quick selection tools. Click on it and delete. Once you're done deleting, you can press your Ctrl D and activate your brush tools. Now you want to change the pattern to something even more interesting. Okay, this is not nice. This is not so bad anyways, but I want something. So let's just try out this. Now I'm just doing this, like I'm not really considering how nice it is or not, but I just want us to get something done. Okay, so you want to reduce this also a bit, so you click on this, and by the time you click on it, you have this nice background under the initial one. Okay, now you start to see how your beautiful page is coming up, and again you're going to make these a solid background. And to do this, you simply come to the next layer under it, click on the rectangle tool, create a rectangle, change the color of the rectangle to white, and once it is white, you can then merge the layer with this layer. Don't forget, it's going to be this layer, the bigger of the two patterns, and that is going to be merge layers, and then you're going to select around it. So this is all selected, delete it and press Ctrl D. Now we come to our brush tool and select an even more interesting pattern. Okay, so let's say we just want to use this. Now I'm sure you can see that these are not really looking so nice. This is not the best that we can do, but we can create something like this, and we can have this. Okay, so you can see that I have this weird looking stuff, and that is because I did not create a new layer. So click undo and create a new layer, bring it under the two other layers, and then you can have your pattern drawn. So you can start to see how beautiful it is coming. So this is not as nice as the one that I showed you, but I'm sure that by the time you use some other interesting and nice mandala brushes, you'd be able to create something more beautiful and interesting than this. And then even if you want to go further, you can still go ahead to create a solid background for this guy, and also had more patterns to fill up these extra white spaces. Now, it is not a must for you to fill up all the white extra spaces. Okay, so I'm just getting to know that if you see some of my recent designs, it had been that the entire book has been colored all over, like it has been covered in patterns all over. So this is not so necessary. In fact, sometimes it's just better to have some breathing space and some white spaces around. Okay, so it's not necessary, and you can of course leave your patterns in this way. And that will be all in this very video. And the next we are still going to be looking at some other interesting ways that you can create your mandala pages.